Taekwondo is a Korean martial art that means the way of the hand and foot, which is characterised by a selection of punching and kicking techniques. Personally, my life would look completely different if I hadn't discovered this sport. As a young woman in today's society, I've spent almost 10 years developing a skill set that could help save my life if it ever came to that. Being a black belt's pretty cool too though.
I coach the TOTS programme and I also head coach the TPD Fit programme, which is our women and girls only class. I was a bit of a late bloomer. I started at 23 years old, which in a sport like this is a bit older than average. And I got into it because my now husband, Master Robertson, was training a lot, so I decided to give it a go and I ended up falling in love with the sport. I really love the sense of community that there is in general with the sport, but also what we've built here as a club. For us, it's very much like a family and a proper team. Everybody knows everybody really well. There's a really good connections between coaches as well as students. Yeah, it's a great atmosphere. It's a really good sport to be a part of. I was always someone that was quite athletic at school, but I think like most women or girls, sometimes you fall away from things at university, even guys as well. You can kind of get into a habit of not prioritising sport as much, and it was always something I wanted to get back into. So when I tried Taekwondo, I was pleasantly surprised with how much I enjoyed it, and I think it's the kind of sport that once you've got the bug, that's you. Do you know, you're either not bothered by it or you're really into it.
Within sport, it's really well documented, the kind of drop-off rates of female participation in sport. We've got a really good participation from preschool, age 2 to 3 of girls, and we kind of recognise that drop-off rate when they turn 13, 14, 15. So we have a women's class where parents can come along and join, mums, and it kind of gives them a kind of really confident space to just come in and do the exercise and it keeps them in Taekwondo.
It wasn't until 1987, when the first Taekwondo Women's World Championships were held, that the rise and success of female participation really became apparent. Modern day professional Taekwondo is dominated by strong female athletes, the United Kingdom producing some of the most famous names in the sport. Double Olympic champion Jade Jones, 3-time world champion Bianca Walkden, and Scotland's own European champion Rebecca McGowan.
Yeah, so I was a senior in Rebecca's team, so she was a cadet coming through and she was just a really promising athlete. I took a lot to do with helping her progress as an athlete, getting at that junior stage, and she was picked up by Team GB. She was just really fortunate as well. We had a good group of women in our team. It's an individual sport, so it's quite good where they can progress, and it's really all about them.
I had the pleasure of catching up with Rebecca to find out more about what it's like to be part of one of the strongest female Taekwondo squads in the world.
I'm a full-time athlete with GB Taekwondo, and we train 2 to 3 times a day. A strength and conditioning session, a Taekwondo session, and then the extra third session will come from if we do an extra session with our coaches. And then we normally have a competition around once a month. It's tough. It's tough every single day, but I think when you know that you're helping contribute to that and you're helping just be amongst that every day, I think you can definitely see how it impacts, especially new people when they join the team. Each day we push each other on and we don't let each other slack. And we're always constantly making sure that we're getting the best out of each other. I think just being amongst that atmosphere and just being amongst people that are the best in the world makes you strive to be the best you can be. So that's probably one of the best things about it. I started it because there was a boy that lived across the street from me and we were friends, but we used to argue and bicker and fight all the time. Like he used to beat me up. And then I found out that he did Taekwondo. So then I thought, well, if he's going to do it, I'm going to do it better than him. So I started it and I just took to it straight away. Like in the first, I think it was my dad says, in something like the first or second session that I done it, he says he was watching and he thought, I'm going to put a bet on for her to go and win the Olympics one day. Just because I just took to it so naturally. I just fell in love with it straight away and I've never ever fallen out of love with it. I love doing it every single day, and I think that's probably my biggest, the thing that helps me the most is I don't just do the sport because I am competitive, but it's not so much the winning. I love winning, but I love winning in taekwondo, and I love doing taekwondo day in and day out. So I think that's the biggest reason why I still do it.
We kind of buck that trend of keeping the girls in the sport, so it's something I'm really proud of, and it's something that all our guys can kind of take inspiration off a GB athlete, European champion, going for a European champion again this year, and probably an Olympic hopeful, Paris or Los Angeles 2028. It's really, really cool. She's always back, and she's a big inspiration to the girls in this team.
What about those just starting out? Isla and Leslie gave me their thoughts.
I do taekwondo because I want to learn discipline and stick up for myself.
I do it because I love it, and I think it's a great martial art.
My favourite thing about taekwondo is kicks and punches because you can really discipline yourself.
I like all aspects of what you learn in taekwondo because you can transfer it onto other parts of your life as well, and it gives you lots of different things to think about and learn.
So, thinking about doing some taekwondo? Here's why the girls think you should.
I would just say stop thinking about it, just do it. You've got to try it, get your foot in the door, kind of leave any preconceptions that you might have about it. It's brilliant, and I would just say give it a go.
I would say it's a really good thing to do if you want you to stick up for yourself or if you want you to keep fit.
I think it's a great thing to do no matter what age you are. Young, old, it's a great discipline to learn.
I would say there's always going to be bumps. It's always going to be hard times that you have to push through, but when you do push through those hard times and when you do make it through those bumps, it just makes it even better. So keep going and keep doing it.